Well, feel very fortunate to say the least. I questioned our kids' toughness throughout the whole game and still was doing it at the end, but I think they answered it pretty well down the stretch. They made plays, made shots. Luke, well, first of all, I called a play for Kobe in the corner. I got jumped on him the other day. I said, I've called this for you a couple of times this year and you haven't made it. And he made a big three. Called the play for Luke at the end of regulation, and I think it was the end of regulation when he made the three on the dribble spin out. And he had played, in my opinion, he hadn't played very well, but he made a big-time shot there. And then got another one. I called more plays the last 5 minutes, and I've called it the entire year. Don't like doing that because I think we need to be able to play basketball. But then Kenny made the three out of a set play as well. But Cam made the free throws. Kobe made a big play. Luke made a big basket. Kenny made a big basket. So got a lot of things going for us down the stretch. And I know this sounds silly, but I do feel for Jimmy and his team. I think they're fighting some really, really difficult odds. They played Thursday night. Had some guys hurt. I don't even think he got to practice Thursday and Friday. And they dominated us. They controlled everything. The little rascal is something else. It's hard to get the ball out of his hands. He makes shots. He takes you to the basket. He gets you in foul trouble. You're worried about him the whole game. We tried playing it regular. We tried switching. We tried doubling him, and I don't know if any of it worked. But we're sitting here feeling very lucky right now.
Seven said a few games ago that you've often questioned this team's toughness. Have you seen any advancement on that?
Last three minutes of regulation today in the overtime, I'd say yes. I mean, we're like down 6 or 7 inside this 7-minute mark. So I thought they were really tough today. You know, I think at one time we're up 3, and they shoot and miss it, but then they get the offensive rebound, and Johnson at that time makes the 3, and that was just a breakdown, somebody not boxing out, so you don't like those things. But there's 100 million plays you can pick out. That's something that bothers you.
Kobe had 3 early turnovers in the first half, and how pleased are you with how he bounced back in the second half, specifically without the turnovers and obviously the ball going in the basket?
Well, you like all of that. No turnovers in the second half, and I took him out a couple of times in the first half and let him sit over there with me. I challenged him a little bit. Well, not just him, but some of the other guys too. I mean, he had 3 turnovers. Kenny had 2. We had 5 turnovers at half, and the guards had all 5 of them. So I told him I can play golf, and none of them know what the dickens I'm talking about. If I play poorly on the front nine, that doesn't mean I'm going to play poorly on the back nine. If you beat me on the front nine, I'm going to be more motivated to beat your butt on the back nine. You can change. You can't just say, oh, it's a bad day. That's a bunch of junk. And what you got to do is you got to keep playing every possession. And if you struggle, then you got to play better. It's a pretty simple thing. If you're not playing well, if you're turning it over, you're not guarding the guy, play better. It's a simple game. You play better, and things are happier in the locker room.
Numbers on the glass reflect the toughness that you're talking about.
Well, I thought they out-rebounded the crap out of us, so if I looked at it just like that, I mean, they had 39 to 32 offensive points. We had 11-10, but we didn't have any until the last 4, 5, 6 minutes of the game. We had 2 offensive rebounds in the first half. We missed 22 shots. 22 shots, and we got 2 offensive rebounds. So that would be one point. I'd still say they were probably tougher than us.
Coming out of the timeout at the end of regulation, did you think Luke is going to end up with that shot with what you drew up? Kobe's obviously been hot.
Well, I've coached a few games. You know, so it's one thing if he sets a screen on the ball and they switch, that means the guy my size has covered him, so it's a lot better for Luke to shoot it. Plus, it sucked the whole game, so might as well go ahead and make the shot, and then people forget about how poorly you played. So.
Anybody else?
Virginia obviously is up next, and I don't think we'll get a chance to talk to you before that.
Okay.
What's impressed
That's
you?
good, isn't it? For some of us.
What's impressed you about the level of consistency of what Tony's built over there?
Tony's been fantastic. You know, they were great last year. They've been great this year. I think they lose 2 conference games last year?
I'm not sure.
It wasn't very many. And 1, and they lost 1 this year. You know, that's the old saying. It's hard to beat that. You might be able to tie it if you're got 5 Supermen on your team. But he's done a great job. He's one of my favorite guys. It's a workman-like team. They've got 3 guys on the perimeter that are as good as any 3 guys on the perimeter in the country. They know their strengths. They play to their strengths. They stay away from their weaknesses, and it's a big-time team. But I'm gonna enjoy the dickens out of this one at midnight. I'm not gonna think about Virginia. I'll let them worry.
Coach, Cody White had 30 points again, second time this year. How does he kind of rank in terms of scoring for a freshman youth coach at Carolina? Seems like he's one of the.
Well, at his position, he's been, I'd say, the best. You know, not his position. We had a big, ugly dude that got 40 one night as a freshman, so, and be sure and tell him I said that. But Kobe is a scoring point guard. I like scoring point guards. Kendall Marshall was a great point guard for us, but he was not a scoring point guard. But Ty Lawson was a scoring point guard. Marcus, Joel Berry, Raymond. So I'm not against scoring point guards. If you can score, you can score. And, you know, the guy did score more points than anybody in the history of high school basketball, so it's not a real surprise.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
A couple things.